and we are back in the room, on deck, on board the ship. Welcome back, everybody. And yeah, Bothwell an offer for Ragnar. Things are gonna get dirty. No, they're not.
Oh yeah.
Ragnar is
Christy takes up a notebook.
So Bothwell popped his guitar down and basically commented and said, "You've changed your looks somewhat. I take it you've made some decisions on your future."
To which Ragnar responded, "Oh bollocks, I'm on the wrong thing."
No, that's a perfect response, actually. So you've made some decisions about your future. Oh, bollocks, I'm doing the wrong thing.
Essentially, yes, Ragnar said, that is correct. The ones I followed are as I feared them to be. I wish to no longer serve them.
And he goes, "Noble and wise, but you are still a warrior. You travel with us as a companion, but I have an offer to let you think on."
Raising his eyebrow, Ragnar questions, "An offer?"
"My order was nearly destroyed by Larry and the enemies we face. I offer you a place in that order, sworn to travel mercy and protect those who can't defend themselves."
Upon hearing this, Ragnar thinks for quite a... It's for him it feels like 10, 20 minutes, but in reality it's probably only like, 10 seconds. And Ragnar will kneel down in front of the Theratus. And he will say, "If that is the purpose of the order in which you... the order for which..." Wait a second, my brain stopped working. I forgot how to
Quick,
English.
get your ice cream!
I don't have ice cream today. I'm very upset by that fact. I realised, but I was just like, shit. But yeah, Ragnar's just like, if your order wishes to protect those who cannot protect themselves, then it would be foolish of me to not join that order. So that is the dogma. That is essentially the dogma for which I live by. And I will pledge myself to your order as long as that is their noble mission.
The Theratus will grin and say, and then hold out a hand to Ragnar and go, "I welcome you then to the Order of the Golden Chalice."
Ragnar will take his hand and very, very smiley happy. Be very, very smiley happy.
I have purpose.
The Theratus will go, "Your gods are your own. The Order does not come from any one faith or creed, but we travel Mercer to the far reaches, to those undefended areas, and help anyone that requires it. That is our creed, and that is our path."
And I shall follow that path until the day I die.
May that take a long time yet.
Oh, you guys. Oh, I love it. So yeah, Ragnar, as you say this, the Theratus, you've got one of the symbols of the order about your armour, don't you?
Yes, emblazoned right in the middle of his chest.
Yeah, so I just wanted to triple check that before I said what I was about to say. Lavigne, having heard this and knowing what it is, will wrap herself uncoiling from around, I'm going to say she was on the Theratus's wrist during this conversation, and she will stand in front of you, Ragnar, and she will hold her hands out, and she will start to burn into your armour the same symbol for you.
Fuck yes!
Oh.
That's cool as heck. Just going on to like the corner of a baby shower. Everyone's sensing on tables. And just Nathaniel just, oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, there's like some drunken dancing going in one corner, some cake being eaten in the other, and then you guys are having like bro love. And
Impulsive life decisions.
getting your mouth carved with pain. Amazing.
After Lavinia does that, Ragnar will say he will he will bow to her and say, "Thank you, Lady Navigne."
She will giggle, which you can't quite understand, but it's sort of a flickering fire, and she'll very gently kiss your cheek, but it doesn't burn. It leaves a bit of a black charcoaly mark, but it doesn't burn.
Charcoal lipstick is now a good idea that I've come up with.
Sell it, make your millions. So you guys have the rest of the afternoon. You've probably got about 3 hours left until you dock in Trevice, just outside the capital of Rog. Is there anything you would like to do or say in those 3 hours, or we will skip ahead to your landing?
Pretty certain Vitheritus is just going to spend like the better part of the rest of the trip like talking about the order to Ragnar.
Ragnar is going to spend all this time just listening.
Arissa is going to approach Apricity.
Oh.
Hello, ooh, me? Hello?
Conversation.
She's gonna be still dancing a little bit, and then when she sees coming over, she'll stop and. I'll be back in a little while, lads.
They all drunkenly and slightly sweatily go, okay, guys, take 5. Whoa, flag in. Take 5, okay.
So, I've kind of got an important question to ask you.
Sure, go ahead, darling.
So, we're not quite sure what we're going to do once the baby comes, because we can't look after it on the road, and I've been thinking about, obviously, asking Mayha and Cecily to maybe look after the baby, but we'll see how things go there. But I just wanted to ask if anything happened to me or Varric, would you be the baby's godmother? And if Apricity isn't sure what a godmother is,
Yeah.
we'll explain it.
Yeah, she's gonna kind of look at you and be like, "Well, wonderful. What is it?"
Arissa does laugh, and she's just like, basically, it's a promise that someone makes to look after the baby if anything happens to the parents and there's no one else.
Oh, wow. Arissa, are you sure? Don't you have family that you'd rather look after your baby?
I only really have my brother and obviously my parents, but I can't really go back to Emily. The royal family is still pretty pissed at me.
I mean,
Outside of them, you are my closest friend.
she's going to reach out a hand to Marissa's, give it a squeeze.
She squeezes back.
I'd be honoured. And if anything did happen, which hopefully it doesn't, I would tell the baby pig story every week.
Arissa starts to cry like, yes, tell the pig story.
We're being so sentimental today.
And
Arissa's hormonal, okay?
and of course I would tell your story. And Barracks. But nothing, we'll be fine.
I mean,
Yes,
obviously.
Arissa. Thank you.
Thank you. And she gives her a hug. A big squeeze.
There's like little women flying around your head singing the happiest song, like there's love going on.
Okay, shall we? And then she, after the big squeezy hug, she goes, all right, shall we get some dancing in before we make...
I teach you some slightly less impactful dancing, but you'll still show these guys up.
Hell yeah.
Goes back to dance and teach Arissa some funky moves, but gently on her tummy.
Yeah.
Yay!
Alrighty, so is there anyone? Oh, sorry, I just read chat. Ragnar's going, I felt like 5 whole emotions today. That's my budget. I've gone over budget. Is there any other conversations or things you'd like to do, anyone, before you land?
Varric will have one thing in his hand that might be important to notice.
Orissa,
Hello.
could you please do me a perception check?
Ooh, yes.
Okay.
Oh. Is that why he was angry?
Varric is not actively hiding it anymore.
Okay. Orissa, you notice Varric is holding a very familiar rectangular, not square, box of cards.
How the hell did he get those? She yells in the middle of the crowd.
To that, Varric will stumble a bit and quickly stuff the deck back in his armor.
The therapist is going to sort of look up mid-story, look around, be confused, shrug, and get back into the story.
Hannah?
I told you I'd take the blame, and with that, he jumps off the ship.
What the
I'm
hell?
gonna take a fly.
What's the bread?
I'm gonna take a fly.
Okay, Varric, what are you doing while you're flying around, or are you just getting away from Orissa?
Just flying around the ship a bit because, well, Varric was leaning on the side and he felt a bit like bored, so he decided to just fly around a bit.
Okay.
So it's like mostly above the deck, flying around a bit, and then like landing every now and then to get some food and fly along.
Okay. And this continues for the next 3 hours until you begin your descent. Captain Wyatt calls out to you all, land ahoy, and you start your descent down towards Travis. Now, the Theratas.
Yep.
You've spent a lot of time in Travis. Has anybody else, as far as I'm aware, it's mostly the Theratas. Has anyone else spent an extended amount of time in Travis? Orissa, you bypassed it. Percity, you've been in the woods in Risha.
Yeah, pretty much.
Varric, you've been in the woods in Risha. Ragnar, as far as I'm aware, you've been in Risha, haven't you?
Yeah, almost exclusively, other than, like, I guess for political missions where he would have only been in maybe a city once or twice.
Okay, in which case, then the Theratas only. Could you do me a perception check, but with advantage, please, as you are descending down over Travis?
I'm presuming the fact he already gets advantage on perception checks doesn't help.
Just make it an average perception check.
Well, you say that, that was an average perception check, not in the other way. What do I get with... come on.
Lucky 7!
Yeah.
Well, one of the dice was a lucky 7. The other one was a lucky 8, which makes it a total of 9 perception.
Oh, wow.
Well done.
I think both those dice are sin bin for now.
Sinbin. Okay, to be fair though, with Theratas, it's not a very high number you need to check for this. So, as you guys are descending, you're told where you're going. You're going to be landing just outside the capital of Rog, which, those of you not with Theratas, what you've heard of Travis is that basically it was a land for roaming tribes and scavengers. It didn't have a lot of buildings and settlements. Most of the places people stayed were small buildings, some built up communities, mostly travelling, so tents and half-built houses that were then abandoned and things. The capital was the place where loads of people would stay and gather a lot, but they were always moving about, so it was never a lot of people there for too long. However, as you descend down, the skies and the clouds around you are very dark and grey, and you can see no rain and you can hear no thunder, but everything is a lot darker. and it takes you a good hour or so to pass down underneath the clouds in your descent. And as you come beneath them, you can see them lined with red lightning streaks across the sky. But Theratas, you're fairly used to the weather of Trevice, particularly how it has remained particularly dark since the war 5 years ago. But this is different. This is worse. The air itself is darker and the clouds hang lower. And as you look down over the side, you can see, you've probably been near the capital before, or at least heard about it. There have always been, since the last war, big cracks and craters in the ground. These seem to have doubled in size. And the encampment, which is the capital, is full and huge. As you fly overhead, you can see tents and groups of people, many fires, huge. And Ragnar as well. Between the two of you, this appears to be an amassing army.
Oh shit!
As well as
Oh,
an
dear.
organisation. You pass over the top of this, however, and those of you who are magical or have access to magic, I think that's pretty much bloody everybody, isn't it? So yeah, everybody, you can detect a palpable air of rich, evil magic, and it's permeating the air itself. Like, it's not stopping your magic, it's just so strong, coming from like the centre of this capital, that you can practically taste it. It hangs around you, this evil magic. Varric is asking if you can carpet bomb the area. That is entirely up to you, Varric.
Hannibal, how many grenades do you have left? Like, out of character.
Make the link less strenuous, less powerful.
Good to know.
Would
Like,
it? Can anyone hear the DM?
You keep coming in and out for me.
Oh, I keep going out?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I can hear you now.
Okay. I was asking if a shield would stop the effect so much. Would make it less powerful, less suffocating.
A little bit. The magic itself isn't harming anybody. It's just this, like a taste in the air. Like if you're walking past a chocolate factory and the air just smells a little bit thick of chocolate, you can all sense this strong, evil magic.
Okay, just to be sure, Hannibal will grimace a little in irritation and immediately place a shield around Arissa, just in case the magic starts affecting you.
Okay. Arissa, you can't really detect the evil magic anymore. The smell and the sense it dulls for you. It's still there, but it's very dull.
Okay.
Ah, Varric is mumbling to himself, must be strong, must be brave.
Oh.
No, Varric.
He's fucking terrified.
Okay. You fly just below the cloud cover and you go all the way across this capital. You go across some wasteland until the huge amassing army around the capital is just a spot of darkness on the distance. And you see, gathered in a sort of nook where there's a few trees and another sort of crater in the ground, you see white specks. And as you get closer and closer, you see that there are 7 angels stood waiting for your arrival.
Why me?
The airship lowers slowly, the gangplank is put down, and Paltalemon and 6 other angels are stood awaiting your arrival.
Bidding quiet and go and approach them.
Combining this with the fact that the air feels evil, Varric will pull an arrow.
Okay. Are you pulling an arrow and pointing it at anybody, or are you just pulling it?
Specifically keeping it knocked but aimed at the ground, but like ready to snap up and shoot at any second if the angel moves too close now.
Okay. The angels behind Peltalemon stay standing back. Peltalemon, hovers forwards a few steps to greet you as you guys all come down. Are you all coming off the airship?
Vitharitus will leap to the ground and just stride forward.
Ragnar will do the same with his rapier already drawn and ready.
Varric will stand behind them.
Okay.
And also, Ragnar is going to plant the sword in the ground and kneel in front of the angels respectfully, awaiting whatever they have to say.
The 6 angels behind Peltalemon look very impressed at this. They sort of cast glances to each other and sort of nod towards you, Ragnar. If you could hear them speaking, they would probably be like, this guy, like him. Hannibal is groaning and covering her face with her hand in resignation to being in contact with the Holy Warriors again. Sorry, Hannibal. Stand at the back, you'll be fine. Okay, so Peltalemon stands and he says, Welcome once again, travellers. I hope you have had a pleasant flight.
It was an experience.
We had a baby shower.
Ah, I see. Anyway, and he half smiles towards you, Arista, in a sort of course you did kind of expression, and he turns back. As you may have noticed, flying over the capital, as it now stands, Fel has amassed an army around herself. We also have confirmation that she is, in fact, in a vessel body and growing in strength, power, and numbers. It seems she is making up for the many years she had disappeared, and now has many who have joined her endeavours. We have managed to locate one of the few remaining shards, and it is in another plane, which means we cannot cross to go retrieve it. However, we have created a portal by which you could, if you are willing still.
Vitharitus will nod and go, I'll do whatever is needed to stop her destroying Trevis.
Ragnar will also pipe up and say, as will I.
How safe is this portal? Speak of?
The portal itself is a one-use only, guaranteed satisfaction portal. We are currently...
And this other plane, is it a normal plane? Is it habited?
As normal and inhabited as the Underrealm ever is.
And would someone pregnant, for example, not be in danger in that situation?
As much danger as a traveller upon this plane, maybe. However, I would warn that once again, travelling between planes may hasten the, and he looks at Arista apologetically, sort of looking at your stomach, the process a little.
Oh, that's actually in my favor then. That's a first.
He turns to you, Arissa, completely and says, "Of course, I will understand should you not wish to accompany your companions."
She kind of raises her eyebrow and he's just like, if you think these guys are going anywhere without me, you're wrong.
Yeah, she has made that quite clear. Several times.
I'm a nuisance.
Yes, you are.
Altalemon looks you directly in the eyes, Arissa, and it's not scary, but it is firm. And his sort of like pale eyes sort of glint silvery. And he says, "You are not a nuisance, Arissa. You are brave."
Oh, that's so terrible.
A little foolhardy on occasion, but brave nonetheless.
She beams.
So, I take it you're all willing, in which case we can get a portal for you. However, we need permission to open it, and this means we must summon one from the Underrealm to grant you access. And should we contact the right person, the right type of person, should I say, creature, the right type of creature, then they will help you out and lead you upon your journeys, as it is an agreement upon arriving. However, we need to summon such a creature, and all of you must be present. So,
are you sure all of us need to be there?
He smiles at you, Varric. Everyone who is going to go must be present for summoning such a creature to lead you.
Lead us. Oh, this will be fun.
He looks at you, Varric.
God.
Do not let your bravery abandon you, Varric.
Are you quite sure you want me in there? My magic may affect your ritual.
I assure you, it will not.
Well, it's your choice. She will go and join the circle next to Arisa.
Okay. The 6 angels spread out and make a sort of semicircle, you guys joining together and standing next to each other to make the other half of the circle. Paltalemon stands directly before you guys in the circle, and without saying any words out loud, he begins to cast a spell. And a ring appears on the ground in the middle of this circle, and another beyond it, and another, and the last one reaches all the way to all of your toes as you stand in this circle. Each of the rings looks as though it's written in some sort of runes, and they get smaller and smaller until there's one circle in the middle. And this circle, they all light up bright gold, and then there's a flash of flames, and they all light up red and amber. And in that flash, before you, in the centre of the very middle ring, facing Paltalemon, stands, as far as you can all tell, a demon boy.
Demon boy!
So not a hell boy.
He has dark red, sort of shaggy long hair. He has curved horns that arch back over the back of his skull and seem to fit. He has no tail, but he does have a red tint to his skin and what looks to be some sort of blackened burns across his arms and things. He wears fairly simple dark robes and has bare feet. Vitheritas's tail is twitching like a cat's. Vitheritas.
Yep.
Interestingly, your divine sense is not picking up a great deal of evil right now. Considering the shadow creature you have fought and the other demons you have been in front of, who gave you a overwhelming power of evil, and that's what you expected, and maybe even braced yourself for when this guy appeared. I'm not getting that. In fact, Vitheritas, do me a wisdom check.
That would be a 15.
Okay. If you had to hazard a guess, you would say this is a descendant of demons, but not an actual full-grown demon. As he looks around, he looks to be around 16 years old, barely human in shape other than his red-tinted skin and his horns. Varric, yeah, sure, your knuckles can go white from clutching the arrow, that is fine. The teenage boy spins on the spot, taking you all in. Vitheritas cocks his head and raises an eyebrow. He pauses, looking at you, Vitheritas, and at you, Ragnar. Oh. Paladins. Yay. Fun. And then he turns
Ragnar
back to
chuckles to himself.
He turns back to Paltalemon. And without saying anything, he holds out both his hands in a "what do you want" kind of gesture. Paltalemon speaks to him and says, "You have come here, which means you have agreed to allow these travellers," and he gestures at all of you, "access to the Underrealm. You will lead them, you will aid them in this." And the boy scratches one of his horns and shrugs his shoulders and goes, "Yeah, why not?" And he turns around and grins at all of you, and you can see two sort of fang-shaped teeth, and they're all a little yellowy and a slightly forked tongue. And he just sort of grins. "Yeah, why not? Could use the company." "Where you wanting to go?" And he turns back to Paltalemon again. "I will give them their own instructions, and here are yours." And Paltalemon hands him a small scroll of parchment, which he reads, nods, shrugs his shoulders, and then rolls up and puts into one of his pockets. Yep, simple enough. And he turns back to you guys. "Ready?"
I keep getting reminded of an imp. Anybody?
Snarls.
Varric will also say no when asked if he's ready.
All of you except Hannibal, I'm sorry. And Ragnar, I'm sorry, you don't hear. Actually, no, Ragnar, you will, because you knelt to them. You'll hear this as well.
Hell yeah.
In all of your heads, you hear Paltalemon's voice, and he says, "By now you know how to locate the shards we seek. They do not all look exactly the same, but have a resemblance to one another. Keep the goggles, keep an eye out for dust, try to keep yourselves safe. What we know is it was taken down into the Underrealm and lost. We know it was taken deep, deep into the Underrealm. And the air down there is potent. You should be able to find a trail when you get to the right layer. Other than that, unfortunately, we cannot help you. We, as always, have been prevented from spying upon it completely. We are lucky we found out its location at all. I regret I cannot be of more help, but you have been truly sensational so far. and we have every faith in you.
What to expect?
Anything and everything, comes back the response.
Oh, good.
I thought you said you wanted to be helpful.
It is as helpful as I can be presently. Be wary. Do not make any deals. Do not sign any contracts. Do not commit yourselves to anything.
Could you explain to me exactly how I make sure not to sign a contract? Because last time I fucking fell over it.
Yes, he did. Lucky me.
Do not agree to anything. Do not sign anything.
So kill everything we see?
Do not shake any hand offered to you.
I wasn't about to touch any fucking filth demons anyway.
You are lucky he cannot hear you right now, for he will be your guide.
Yeah,
I would practice patience, Varric. It may serve you well.
Yeah.
And with that, Paltalemon's voice disappears. You all heard that exchange, by the way. You heard Varric's voice in all your heads. The demon teenage boy turns around. All right then, let's get going. And he gestures to all of you with his hands in a big sweeping gesture. And as he does so, the red runic line around your toes, in front of your toes, begins to disintegrate, as does all the lines in front of him. The ones behind him towards the angels remain, but the ones towards you do not. And he looks down at the circle and around him as it disappears and grins. And he takes a step out towards you guys and snaps his fingers. And you guys feel like you are falling suddenly through the earth. You can see dirt and blackness surround you. You can't feel yourselves hitting anything, but you drop suddenly as if you were on a roller coaster ride. And looking around, you can see each other, and you can see the teenage demon boy. Teenage Turtles. He stood with one leg crossed over the other and his arms folded, looking at you all as you all descend through the earth. And then everything goes completely black, and then there's a flash of grey, and then you find yourselves, you've landed on some sort of ground.
Oh god.
Ouch.
That meme is painful. Oh my god.
That person definitely broke something.
Someone just comes downstairs.
That's Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right?
Yeah, looks like it.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Amazing.
So, you guys...
When Ragnar stands, he's going to just like shake his head and be like, that was fun. Young demon, what? Oh, I didn't quite catch your name. If you are to be our guide, I would want to be on a named basis with you. And he smiles.
He keeps his leg crossed and his arms folded. Then I will want to know all of your names too.
Arissa sits up and just yells, "Is he okay?" at Hannah.
Wait. Who is okay?
The baby.
The baby.
I assume.
Oh, yeah. Hannibal will just...
As you check, Hannibal, the baby's fine.
He is fine. If he was not fine, I would have been warned.
Okay, cool. Yes, name, Alan.
I feel like if you're giving us one name, then it's only fair that I give you one name in return. So I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours.
And I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Oh, I like it.
I would make that joke.
Dude, what was lesson 1? Do not make any deals down here.
That is true. Is Varric going to say that to Ragnar?
Yes, Varric is gonna flip his shit about this.
Varric, I understand. I only wish to know our companion's name so that I can refer to him not as Demon Boy, because he's more than just a demon boy. He is his own person.
Varric will whisper under his...
Oh, go on, sorry, you have...
Varric will
You
whisper
do not
under his
need to
breath.
give us your real name, of course. I would never ask that from a demon. Names hold power, after all.
Varric will actually whisper under his breath. Is he though? In response to like what Ragnar
Every
said.
name has power, Varric.
Yeah,
Don't be mistaken by that.
I understand, but should we treat him normal?
The Theratus will glance.
You can treat him normally, just don't expect a real name.
Are you presuming that he's as evil as the demons we've come across already?
Did you not listen what I just said?
They're all the
He's
same.
still a halfling. Halflings' names still have power. Empowered, and if someone has their names, they can control them. Do you know nothing about the demons?
The Theratus shrugs.
Of course not. And Hannibal sighs in despair.
Teenage boy sort of holds his hands up and grins at you all and flashes his yellowy forked teeth smile. It's fine. It's fine. I will happily exchange names. No deals. Nothing like that. I am not that kind of demon, as you put it. Tiovat, nice to meet you. And he holds out a hand to anyone who wishes to shake it.
Since should
Hannibal will come forward and shake his hand. You may call me Hannibal. And she will breathe just as sharply at him.
Just a question. Upon hearing that name, would the hairs on the back of Ragnar's neck stand up? Oh, Tiovat. Okay, got it. Sorry.
That's alright, I meant to type it. Actually, no, but the Theratas and Arissa, could you please do me a history check?
Ooh, a history check.
Yes.
Yeah, well, nope, that'd be an 8.
The Theratas, sorry, yours
Yep.
will be with advantage because you have lived in Trevice.
Yeah.
14?
Arissa? Natural 20!
Get out of this guy.
Hey, whoa.
I won't pull you into GM chat because I'm very nice, the rest of you can hear it. Arissa, you know for certain this is a name you have heard associated with this. The Theratas, you're like, that reminds me of... Tiovat is the name of the lost prince of Trevice, who disappeared just as the Great War was ending.
Does that mean I'm related to him?
Potentially, if this is the same person.
Oh, that makes having the child you're having so much better.
Because Arissa's related to most of the royal family and nobility, isn't she?
The Tal family, yes. So Tiovat Tal is the son of Noma Tal, who is the current king of Trevice.
She just...
The Theratas scratched his head.
Yes, she is, but very, very far away.
Very distantly.
She's distantly related. But knowing Tiovat would be almost like family history to her.
Mm-hmm. Vitheritas is counting on his fingers.
Arissa stares at him and goes, I know you. If you're who I'm thinking of. Are you Tiovat Tal?
His grin widens at you.
That better be a yes.
It's a firm maybe.
Well,
She just kind of like is staring at him, just like, you're infuriating, but I love it.
Oh, so when he does it, and you love it when I do it, I'm just infuriating.
I can't help it. He reminds me of my brother.
Racism! Racism!
How is it racism? He's a demon. You're probably some kind of weird demon thing. I don't know what you are.
Tiovat sort of puts up one finger.
What did he say, sorry?
Part demon. He corrected her.
Yes, of course.
Meanwhile, Varric is debating whether killing royalty would be acceptable down here. Meanwhile, Vitheritas is counting once again on his fingers. Tiovat will turn to you, Vitheritas, and just say, yeah?
If it works, I'm pretty certain you definitely are.
Well, who am I to argue with Paladin? And he does a fake bow to you, Vitheritas.
For a paladin god.
Last I remember, you went missing at the end of the war.
Did I? Did I? Gosh. It all seems so long ago. Time is funny down here. It moves about. Fast and then slow and then fast again. How is Trevice?
Gearing up for another war by the looks of it.
Arissa just kind of starts looking more and more excited as she becomes a lot more certain that this is her very distant cousin.
Ah, another one. Do they never get bored of those things up there?
They do not.
Well, definitely not.
And there's angels everywhere. It's a nightmare.
Well, the angels are there for the same reason that army's up there.
Oh, an army? God, that is exciting. How big is the army? What are they planning? Go on, give me the dirt. I mean, while we've got time, any gestures around? And by the way, you looking around at all of you, you guys can see a very similar place to Trevice, actually, having just come from there. A very dark sky, but everything is hazed with a layer of red. The ground is red rock. There are tiny red sparks flying down from the clouds in the air, almost as if there was an active volcano somewhere in the distance that was shooting sparks down at the ground. Everything is red as far as you can see. Different. It all seems to be rocks and different jagged edges and things. So, as you look about. Anyway, Vitheritas, or I believe you were speaking.
He'll just say, it seems there's a very angry goddess wannabe drumming up an army to cause as much mayhem as...
Huh. Well, that sounds oddly familiar.
Oh yes, I believe she was almost killed by the angels a few back centuries ago. I believe they locked her away, but she came back.
It's the same one. Earthbelt. Again.
Yeah, oh yes, that's the name.
Huh. Oh, who'd have thought it? The day a paladin could surprise me. How
Darius will
is...
just bow.
How is my father?
We didn't go to Rog, so I am presuming that the royal family is still there.
Would Arissa know anything about recent history in regards to her family?
Yes, actually, the two of you would be aware that the current rumour surrounding Tiovat Tal, the king, is that he has gone a little cuckoo and is currently searching for his 2 children after his wife died in the war. His 2 children are missing, the prince and the princess.
So yeah, Arissa is kind of like, oh, I don't know if she would call him uncle.
Distant uncle.
Yeah. It's like, oh, Uncle Tiovat Tal isn't doing too great.
And put on the spot and look at you, Arissa. How so?
He's looking for you. And is it a sister or a brother?
Sister.
Is it a sister?
Sister.
He's looking for you. And what's her name?
Her name is Molia. Molia Tal.
Which Arissa might even start to twig from Sunday.
Yes, Arissa will start to have a. Hang on, wait. I can put a face to this name now. Like, you've never met the Tals, but you can start putting faces to this name. This one name, Molia Tal. You can put a name. You can put a face to her.
Yeah. He's looking for you, and Molia. She kind of gazes off into the distance, like revelation.
Right. Well, maybe I should pay the old man a visit. It has been a while. Anyway, so I am instructed, and he sort of regains his cool a little. I am instructed, under strict, angelic instructions, if you will, and he sort of scratches his horn again, and he pulls out a piece of parchment. Accompany you and lead you to the deepest layer in search of the item which you will know how to spot. Well, gosh, oh golly gee, that is helpful for me. And he puts it into his pocket. What are you looking for?
You will know what it is when you feel it. It's quite disturbing.
He looks at you, Hannibal, and goes, does that mean it's used for good?
Yes.
And he shoots you a wink and goes, gotcha. I mean, help me out here. What is what is it you're looking for?
It's best that you do not know the details. I hope you appreciate that. Just because, obviously, we're not even 100% sure ourselves. And it's probably for the best that we don't share around anything that we do know, because obviously you only have specific instructions, and when those instructions are done, you could tell the next people that you choose to ferry down here. You could be like, oh, I'm going to inform you of my previous clients. I always know that you see, I've helped give tour guides before, and simply I've gossiped about my previous people to the others. Simple as that. Ragnar is high-key bullshitting, but he's coming up with a reason to not tell him.
He'll look at you. I see. You understand, of course.
Basically, they do not trust you, and they do not wish to tell you.
Right. Well, two problems with this plan. One, it will help me tremendously to know at least what you're looking for, or a vague idea, so that I can help. I have been here a while. I may have seen something similar, heard about it, might be able to point you in the right direction. Otherwise, you are quite literally asking me to lead you on a wild goose chase. And of course, the second and most glaring problem in your plan, as soon as you find it, I will know and see what it is anyway.
Well, here's the issue. We don't know exactly what it looks like. So how about you start leading us now? I know. I know that we know vaguely what it looks like.
Right. Oh, wild goose chase it is. Gosh, oh golly gee, how I do love those.
Oh, Ep46, do you still have my goggles?
Yes. I will take them off and hand them to Arissa because she looks so much better in them.
Aw. Arissa pops them on her head. Puts them over her eyes.
Okay, do me a check with advantage. Okay. You can't pick out any dust in the air, but as he is gesturing, you notice 2 healed over scars on the palms of Tiavat's hands. These healed over scars look quite old, but they are lined with gold dust. And I shall pause this recording here and pick up the next one in a moment.
Oh, damn.